we were always worried about somebody stealing our data, but I don't think we were as worried about somebody adding to our data, right? which is interesting. That's model poisoning, right? Data poisoning, which is a really interesting sort of twist of we're now worried about quietly somebody coming in and adding to our data and making our models worse. Uh, Talk a little bit about what you guys think about what keeps you up at night in terms of security vulnerabilities. Ram, what are you thinking of? And Shale, what are you hearing as well?
Yeah, I think this is a serious concern, and I think it kind of goes back into two aspects. I look at it where do you keep your data and security, whether it's within your data center or your external, right? That's one key element, because what are the variables you're really adding into it? And then when you really look at into the model element of it, I think there are key aspects, as to look at this, around you have a lot of threat modeling solutions already in place to really understand your application vulnerabilities and scans. Now that needs to be expanded more into looking at these elements of generative AI, data poisoning, as you talked about, or even model drift around that. Those things needs to be added into your threat modeling capabilities, right? Number one. The second element is also in terms of when you look at data governance element, you have to understand where is your data manipulation and anomaly detection can really happen within your model. So without having an understanding of it, even monitoring around it, you're going to be really flying blind into this area. And you could have your manipulation happening where you have no sense of identification until an event happened or some regulators coming and knocking your door and then say, hey, by the way, you're having this issue. So how is your monitoring of these techniques and solutions in place around that is also super important. Now, the third element is you have an inside actor, which is not an external actor. You have an inside actor who can actually also can do malicious attempts to. So you have things like a prompt to a code, you have a prompt to SQL. So what if somebody says, okay, you know what, I'm going to send it, okay, can you delete a table for me, right? So it can really take and it can really go and delete it for you. So there are prompt injections can really happen. So how do you make sure you sanitize those things and really potentially harmful elements? All those things, in my view, is going to be super important, which probably not something we thought about it earlier. Now that's something which we need to look into it.